This program is brought to you by generous donations from the community and sponsored by Stifel Financial.
Good evening, Nevada County. I'm Keith Overby, your host for tonight's edition of Nevada County Now. Road and driving conditions change dramatically here in Nevada County. Besides carrying a set of chains in your trunk, one of the best precautions you can take is to simply slow down. For a list of driving tips, visit the Caltrans website at dot.ca.gov/travel/winter driving tips website. Now, stay with us. Don't go away. We're going to be right back after a short sponsor break.
Thank you to Stifel Financial, proudly helping individuals pursue financial goals, businesses and organizations raise and protect capital, and communities offer higher quality of life. To learn more, visit www.stifel.com.
The Nevada Irrigation District announced that camping reservations are now open for the 2025 season. Bookings for most of the campgrounds can be done online or by calling the specific campground. These campgrounds include Scotts Flat, Orchard Springs, Long Ravine, Peninsula, High Sierra at Jackson Meadows, Foshery, Aspen, and Silvertip. The Nevada Irrigation District is currently waiting to get guidance from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife with regards to the procedures for reopening the boat launches due to the invasive mussel outbreak in other parts of California. They do expect that to happen shortly. An NID reports that Scotts Flat Lake is currently at 78% capacity. Rollins Lake is currently at approximately 60 to 70%. And the Truckee Donner Land Trust announced the acquisition of 691 acres at the headwaters of Carpenter Valley. The new acquisition is located between the Sierra Crest above and the Meadow system below, surrounded on three sides by peaks rising to nearly 9,000 feet. The property is remarkably pristine, remaining intact for a wide variety of wildlife that rely on the connected habitat between the Sierra Crest and the Meadows in Carpenter Valley. It was in private ownership for more than a century by a family that prioritized stewardship of the natural landscape. The property includes a beautiful seasonal waterfall, granite cliffs, mixed conifer forests, and riparian habitat. It contains two streams that form the headwaters of Prosser Creek. Property critical for protecting the watershed and the health of the meadows of Lower Carpenter Valley further downstream. Both wolves and a wolverine have been spotted in the vicinity. For now, Upper Carpenter Valley is accessible via cross-country travel from Warren Lake along the Sierra Crest in the summer, or by a ski down from the Land Trust Frog Lake backcountry huts in the winter. The property is currently not accessible through Lower Carpenter Valley. The Land Trust plans to create better access from Frog Lake and Red Mountain to Upper Carpenter Valley for future use. For now, the area remains mostly accessible to the wildlife who don't live by property lines and obstacles. Also, changing the subject, but from retail theft to cannabis cafes to AI, housing, and a ban on forced outing policies, hundreds of new laws were passed by California Governor Gavin Newsom that went into effect on January 1st, 2025. Almost no issue received as much attention during the legislative session as retail theft. The legislature passed a package of bills that focused on laws to allow for stricter penalties, including one creating sentencing enhancements for selling stolen property valued at $50,000 or more. Attorney General Rob Bonta says this is aimed at cracking down on smash and grab robberies. Another law increases penalties for car break-ins and auto theft. It also creates a new crime for possessing stolen property taken during a vehicle theft or unlawful entry of a car. And also passed in a special session in October is AB X2-1, which authorizes the Energy Commission to develop and impose requirements for refiners operating in the state to maintain minimum levels of inventories of refined transportation fuels. Another law, AB 3233, allows cities or counties to limit oil and gas drilling from sensitive areas. The cannabis industry is also getting a boost. Dispensaries across the state offering on-site consumption can now sell food drinks. It also allows dispensaries to host live events such as comedy shows and live music. The new law gives cities local control over whether to allow food or drink sales. To keep the community informed, we'll present a few of these new laws each week. And Nevada County welcomed 1 new and 2 returning supervisors this week at a swearing-in ceremony. Supervisors Rob Tucker, Heidi Hall, and Hardy Bullock were all administered their oath of office and completed all the paperwork. Clerk Recorder Natalie O'Donnell administered the swearing-in and the ceremony. Now don't go away. We'll watch a bit from the swearing-in and we'll be right back with our first guest.
The peaceful transfer of power is one of the hallmarks of American democracy. It's a testament to the strength of our institutions and the will of the people, reminding us that leadership is not about the individual, but about the greater good of our community. Let's honor this noble pursuit and continue to serve with humility, integrity, and purpose. I, state your name,
I, Heidi Hall,
I, Rob Tucker,
I, Hardy Bullock,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to thank the voters of Nevada County, specifically District 1. I'm honored to be elected to serve a 3rd term as your District 1 supervisor. I expect to serve these next 4 years with professionalism and collaboration, and always to put the county and its residents first.
It's such an honor to have been entrusted to serve by the voters of District 2, and I'm really looking forward to working alongside all the my colleagues, the staff here at the county, and all the members of the community here where I was born and raised. So I'm excited to get started.
I just am honored to serve the District 5 and the Nevada County as a whole. I think District 5 is always seems a long way away, particularly on a snowy morning like today. But making one county out of our elected officials, our appointed officials, our senior staff, and our community is what I stand for. Looking forward to serving all of you and working together for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is the 4-H Youth Development Advisor for the University of California's Cooperative Extension. As a 4-H advisor, he implements extension education and applied research programs grounded in positive youth development theory, while also providing expertise regarding volunteer engagement in 4-H and other youth development programs. And here to tell us about his role and how it connects to our community is Dr. Matt Rodriquez. Matt, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
So, well, tell us what exactly a youth development community that whole long title you had. What exactly is it that you do, and what's your program about?
Yeah, so a 4-H Youth Development Advisor is someone who works for Cooperative Extension through the University of California. And particularly my program area is the 4-H Positive Youth Development Program. So one of the privileges that I have is to work with hundreds of volunteers and hundreds of youth members, ages 5 to 18, who want to increase their leadership skills and want opportunities to learn new things in our community.
All right. Now, what kind of activities do you have for the kid? I assume youth.
Yeah.
4-H is mostly youth. What kind of activities do you coordinate for them?
Yeah, so we have lots of different project areas. We have a lot of STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics programs. We have a program called Junkyard Robotics, which we recently implemented at Lyman Gilmore Middle School. We also have food and nutrition education programs called Cooking Academy to help our young people learn about cooking skills, food preparation skills, and really how to eat healthy. And then, of course, what we're really known for here in Nevada County are animal science projects, where kids get to learn about a particular animal species and how to care for that animal and show them at fair. Mm-hmm. And then also, one of our biggest project areas is in shooting sports, where kids will learn how to either do rifle or handgun or archery. So we have a big shooting sports program here.
Oh, wow. Terrific. I did not know that. Now, when you have, besides the normal events of showing animals at the fair, which I think that's the first thing that pops into everybody's head about 4-H is right. Raising a steer for a year and then selling it at your local county fair, or a pig or sheep, chickens, whatever.
Right.
What other, I guess, get more into what kind of things do you have on the STEM program, for example?
Yeah, for STEM, so we have, of course, our robotics, but we also have, in fact, we're going to be implementing this in this month. It's called embryology. So, again, at Grass Valley School District, we're going to implement embryology to teach young people about the development of a chicken embryo. And so we'll give the schools fertilized chicken eggs, we'll give them an incubator, and then we provide their staff with train the trainers. So that's one of the things I'll do. I'll talk to the staff about how to implement the program. And then we set them up, and the kids over the course of 21 days will go ahead and hatch chicks. And so at the end of that 21 days, the chicks hatch and they get to hold the chicks and have fun with the chicks. And then I come in and do a program evaluation to understand what went well.
Okay. Anything, now, yeah, it's going to be a hot topic with a lot of people, is you're teaching gun safety. Mm-hmm. What exactly do you teach, or I assume gun safety, what exactly do you teach in that segment of your program?
Yes, so our shooting sports are led by volunteers that go through rigorous training. So we have a national shooting sports program that provides the training protocols. So all of our volunteers go through strict training. And then once they become a certified instructor, then they work with the kids on, as you mentioned, gun safety and how to responsibly use and operate those different shooting sports equipment. So,
now, along with the hunting part, is there conservation included in that? For example, Ducks Unlimited. That's an organization that promotes the growth of waterfowl. Do you have something like that goes on?
Yeah, so 4-H is obviously we have a lot of collaboration with different community organizations outside of 4-H, and so I'm not sure specifically which organizations they partner with, because one of the things that 4-H does is we have different project leaders that are able to have a little bit of autonomy to teach the kids, according to what they want to do. So we do also have a range that we have set up where the kids will they'll go to the range, and again, it's all under supervision, and they'll be able to practice. If they're in rifles, they'll have 22 rifles, and they'll be able to shoot. And as far as the conservation topic, one of the great things about Cooperative Extension is we collaborate with other programs. So we have, in Cooperative Extension, we have a registered forester, for example. And so they have Project Learning Tree, and they have other educational programs that they provide to schools. And so we have those opportunities to collaborate as well to help teach our young people about conservation of our natural resources.
Now, you mentioned hunting. Do you have a similar program for fishing?
Not to my knowledge, but I think that one of the great things about 4-H is that if there is an interest, we, as at large, Cooperative Extension is a national program. We have colleagues in other states that we can tap into, and chances are someone has led a fishing project, and so we'll be able to contact them and get the curriculum and all of that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, you mentioned before that you're in charge of the program for Nevada, Placer, Sutter, and Yuba.
Yes.
And in Nevada County, how many different chapters are? Boy Scouts have troops.
Yeah.
Girl Scouts have troops. What are they called? They're called chapters in 4-H.
Clubs. So,
Clubs.
yeah,
Okay.
We have we call them program delivery modes. So we have a community club program delivery mode. And so we have, give or take, about 10 different community clubs, and they meet once a month, and they have a club leader. And another great thing about 4-H is it's youth-driven. So the youth learn parliamentary procedure, how to conduct a meeting, how to do motions, etc. And then in addition to those community clubs, we also have project meetings. So those project meetings will teach a specific project, such as shooting sports or forestry. And then we also have a program delivery mode to provide programming in places like juvenile detention. So in Placer County, for example, we are starting a Junior Master Gardener program to teach incarcerated youth about gardening skills.
Okay.
And we know that gardening also has a lot of different metaphors for just ordinarily, daily life in general. So we're looking forward to growing that program, and maybe one day we'll bring that up here to Grass Valley.
Now, 4-H goes from what ages for youth? And boys and girls?
Boys and girls. It's 5 to 18,
Okay.
or 5 to 19, actually. And actually, in the Placer County Juvenile Detention Center, which is at the DeWitt Center, they actually, now that I remember, they actually house Placer and Nevada youth, because Nevada doesn't have a detention facility.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Tell me something. Can you name off some of the clubs that are here in Nevada County?
Yeah, so we have, for example, Penn Valley is a club here. We have another club in Chicago Park, Meadowlarks. We have a lot of, again, 10 different clubs, primarily on the eastern side of the county. And one of the opportunities that I'm looking forward to in the next year or two is to expand eastward towards the Tahoe Truckee region.
Good.
So, yeah.
Great. And how would somebody find out how to get their child involved in 4-H?
Great question. So the University of California has a website. It's ucanr.edu, and you can go onto that website and look for the 4-H Youth Development Program. And specifically, it'll ask which county you're interested in, so you can select the Nevada County drop-down. And on our website, there's lots of information. So one of the things that we provide are some stipends for families that might have financial insecurity. So if you want to get involved, go to the website, and there's a lot of resources. And I also want to make a pitch for our volunteers. Our program here in Nevada County is supported by over 100 volunteers, and each volunteer on average will contribute 9 years of service. And they will, across my 4 counties, our volunteers contribute over $4 million of volunteer service.
Wow, that's great. And you said you have about 100 volunteers here in Nevada County?
Correct.
But I'm sure you could use 150 or so.
Absolutely. We would love that.
How many do you have in the whole 4-county area that you oversee?
Over the 4 counties, well, it's approximately about 400.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, terrific. Anything else you want to add?
I just, you mentioned that you're a retired peace officer, and I
Yes.
want to thank you for your service.
Oh, well,
we
thank
love
you.
our peace officers, and thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. All right. Don't go away. We're going to be right back.
"13 years ago, my much younger husband, that was 17 years younger than me, passed away. Then 2 days later, my dad passed away. Then a couple weeks later, my brother passed away. So I had all my men I lost, all within a short time. Well, when I came back from the Bay Area from having my husband cremated, I came back here and I had a ride with a family member, and they had informed me that since my husband died, I won't have his finances anymore, that I won't be able to feed my dogs and my bird, and that I had to get rid of them. And I looked at my family member and said, "What are you talking about? They're all I have left. No matter what, I was going to keep them. I was determined." So I looked around, asked questions to people and everything, and I found the pet pantry, and they were willing to help feed my dogs and my parrot.
Owning and caring for a pet promotes health, reduces loneliness, and brings joy and comfort for our seniors, especially those that are homebound. Without the pet food pantry, our seniors are at risk for losing their cherished companion.
Pet food pantry programs are donation funded. Without assistance, many seniors share their meals or go without their meals to provide for their pets. This is not healthy for either the pet or the senior. Help your older neighbors by helping their pets. Donate or volunteer today.
They have helped me so much, you have no idea.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is an active Nevada County Planning Commissioner who's here to share information with us about the Dark Skies Initiative, an initiative that aims to significantly reduce light pollution through new regulations on outdoor lighting within the community to ensure that the outdoor illumination does not disrupt the natural darkness of Nevada City's night sky. So Tom Nigh, welcome to us. We're glad you're here.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, just to start out with, how did you become a planning commissioner?
I want to start with a correction. I'm a Nevada City Planning Commissioner.
Did I say Nevada?
You said county.
Oh, county.
And
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
so that's
okay.
They do great work, but that's not me.
That's not you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. But Nevada City, how did you get on this commission?
We, all the planning commissioners in Nevada City are volunteers, and we're members of the community like the applicants who come before us. And each of us was appointed by an incoming city council member.
Okay.
And my appointing council member was Gary Peterson, who's doing a great job. He's currently mayor, and he's enjoying that role and doing great work at it.
Good.
I would like to say that my fellow commissioners are, it's just a great collection of talents and knowledge bases with a deep love for Nevada City like me. And we bring different skills and areas of interest to the work of being a planning commissioner.
Well, tell me something before we get into specifics about the Dark Skies Initiative. What exactly does a planning commissioner do for folks out there that may not know?
Yeah, we adjudicate land use decisions essentially. There's a professional city planner in Nevada City. It's Lisa McCandless, who's been our planner for I think 2 years now, and she's doing a wonderful job. And the city staff, the planner, and the city manager and others experts compile staff reports, and then we are the group who make decisions over cases, applications that require judgment, such as whether or not to approve or make modifications to an application for zoning changes or subdivisions. And in Nevada City, there's a strong historic ordinance, so we also do architectural review and make sure that an application is in keeping with the spirit and the letter of our existing code.
Okay. Now, decisions that are made by the planning commission, are they final, or do they have to go through, say, your city council, or some do and some don't, or how does that work?
It depends on the decision. These are great questions. Thank you. Architectural review pretty much goes directly to enactment when we say you're approved to do this project with a modification or not. That's final and binding. The applicant can appeal to the city council because they are the final authority.
Okay.
And changes in zoning goes to the city council. So we act as a recommending body, and yeah, that's pretty much in the case of we're discussing the dark sky ordinance today. So the planning commission, it was initially the planning commission's suggestion to ask the city council to consider such an ordinance and authorize city staff time to draft an ordinance. And they unanimously approved of the idea. And when the planning commission is involved in this particular initiative, we will make recommendations of things that the planner might include in the ordinance as it's a draft ordinance currently. But as far as it being enacted, that's done by the city council.
Okay. I just wanted, so maybe some folks don't even knew there was a planning commission.
I know there's a lot to know, and I got involved just as an interested citizen. I disagreed with something that the city council was doing, and I made a comment about it in a constructive and positive way, and I was invited into the process to join in a committee. It had to do with parking, and that's how we work. And public input is a very important part of what the city council and the planning commission do. Public participation has an effect on the outcome.
Okay. Well, we're here to talk about dark skies, the Dark Skies Initiative. Man, that's a tongue twister for me to say. And I'm somewhat familiar with what dark skies is. I had the opportunity to go to a couple of dark skies places in the United States. It's stunning, in northern Nevada, for example. But tell me, what is the Dark Skies Initiative?
Well, there's a group called the International Dark Sky Association, and they have a set of guidelines by which a place can be called a dark sky city or a dark sky place. National parks can be dark sky places, all kinds of places. And cities, there's guidance as to what we need to do legislatively to make it happen, and that includes a phase-in period. And in the case of our draft ordinance, currently, to the best of my knowledge, is a 10-year phase-in period. If the ordinance is enacted by the city council, All building projects will include their outdoor lighting plans and compliance with their plans that is approved by the Planning Commission or the Building Department are verified that they are installing what their plans call for. Just like we're putting a bathroom here, we're putting these kinds of lights up.
Okay.
And mostly the guidance for outdoor lighting is for light sources to be downward directed. So the light source doesn't shine onto neighboring properties and definitely doesn't contribute to sky glow, which is lighting the sky, which is of no practical use and just makes it hard to see the stars and makes it difficult for birds to migrate.
Really?
I don't know a lot about that science, but that's part of it. Wildlife doesn't like a bright sky that's lit with very white or bluish white light. So another aspect is the color temperature, and I don't know if you're familiar with that term, and maybe
no, not really.
Well, color temperature, and now that we're mostly using LEDs, you can choose the color of the light that's emitted by the LED, and it's expressed in Kelvin, which I'm not a scientist, so I don't know why the term Kelvin is used, but the higher the Kelvin number, the whiter, bluer the light is. And the International Dark Sky Association and all dark sky places require a color temperature of 3000 K or Kelvin or under. And the lower the number, the warmer the light.
Okay. Yeah, I know that. I think just from my limited knowledge too, I think Kelvin is another temperature scale, much like Fahrenheit and centigrade.
Right. I think the degrees.
But I think it's only used in science, basically. I don't think there's any practical public use for it.
No, right. Science, astrophysics,
is basically that. So let me ask you this: if you accomplish this in Nevada City, were to hopefully help to see the stars, and like I said, it's stunning, really, when you get out in the middle of nowhere, like northern Nevada, and you see what there is up there. It's amazing. I know I lived in Los Angeles for a short period of time, 3 years. I never saw the stars.
The sky
in
is
Los Angeles.
the sky is orange,
yeah,
yellow.
I never saw the stars
No
in
stars.
Los Angeles. Are you trying to bring in Grass Valley and Nevada County into this also? Is there any kind of thing? Because I mean, no offense intended, but if we get this little small area of Nevada City, but Grass Valley and the rest of the county are lit up, what does that good do? So I was hoping we might see some collaboration going on there.
It'd be nice to set an example. I think the county is interested. I don't know about Grass Valley, and I don't want to say anything bad about them.
Sure.
But Nevada City is in a nice opportunity zone, if you will, because it's on the edge of the development. You know, so directly north and east of us are hills. There's no metropolitan centers beyond there in a practical sense. Truckee, by the way, has adopted really similar standards for businesses and homes.
They have. Oh, okay.
Yes, they've already done it. They're not aiming for a dark sky ordinance. And I'm not sure the reasons for that, but they've gone a long way toward requiring downward directed light in a warmer color temperature from 3000 K below. The county is interested, though I don't know what would be involved in them enacting or adopting such an ordinance or such an initiative for them. Part of dark sky becoming a dark sky place, according to the International Dark Sky Association, is for municipal lighting to also comply with these goals, these standards.
I see.
So all city lighting at the end of the phase-in period would be dark sky compliant.
Okay.
Here's a little story. This is where I got,
Go ahead.
where I started really paying attention to it. In my neighborhood, I live, right in the city, I live in Nevada City. And a nephew came to visit me from Monrovia in Southern California, right near the San Gabriel Mountains. And it was his first visit to Nevada City. He got out of his car and he just like stopped, looked up, and he said, "Stars." Like he was really struck by, you can see stars on a residential street in Nevada City. So as development and progress increases, it's a good idea to create standards so that we don't ruin that opportunity to see the sky just from our front porches or backyards.
That's right. Yeah, I remember when I would come back, my parents lived in the Central Valley, and I would come for the weekend to visit my parents when I was living in Los Angeles. And I'd get up on the grapevine and it'd be, oh my God, where'd all these stars come from? I hadn't seen them in the months I've been in Los Angeles.
They were there.
Yeah. Anything else you can tell us about the Dark Sky Initiative that you want to add?
Well, I would
please share with us whatever you want.
Well, there are several things. Nevada City's new streetlights that are going in that have a historic look. That are similar to the gas lights that are in the historic district. Are all 3,000 K or 2,700 K. Like the new lights on the new bridge that crosses Nevada Street, the new Nevada Street Bridge has that warm lighting. All the street lighting that the city provides is the same color temperature, and I'd invite people to pay attention to how it unifies and helps give the city a more historic feel. It's nearly the color of the gas lights themselves.
Okay.
The light that comes from these new LED lights. So that's the opportunity we have, and the city's already taking action on it.
All right, then. Anything else you want to add?
There's a lot to talk about. I will say some people have concerns that a dark sky city means a darker city, a city bathed in shadow, and that's not the case. And there's no statistical crime rate increase in dark sky cities. Like Flagstaff, Arizona, is a dark sky city. No increase in crime rate. So that's something to consider. Some might think dark skies means a dark, unsafe environment, but that's not the case. Also, when the light source is shielded, you're walking into a lighted area, lighted by downward directed light. Your eyes aren't picking up the light source, so your pupils do not constrict. So you're actually more able to see what's in front of you than in a situation where you have the light source visible. You're slightly blinded by the light.
Oh, just like the song says, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Gary, or excuse me, I called you Gary.
I'm Tom.
I don't know why I called you Gary. I mean, anyway, Tom, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been interesting. Hopefully, go ahead.
I would like to suggest that anybody who's curious go to the Nevada City website, nevadacityca.org, and there will be soon, if there isn't as of today, a link to dark sky materials. And also, I would strongly suggest that people sign up for notifications and come to public meetings. And also on the city website, they can read the draft ordinance as it currently exists, which is good. We really encourage that.
Well, that's one of the things that we've mentioned here in this program. We've told people if you engage, to put your 2 cents worth in, and see what's going on. Don't just sit back and
participate. It's a public process. It's truly the democratic process in action, especially in a small town like Nevada City. You're heard if you come and speak.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Again, thanks a lot. It was
pleasure.
very interesting. Well, folks, thank you for watching this edition of Nevada County Now. Now, if you'd like to help contribute or write stories, appear on a show, or even become a host, which if I can do it, any of you out there can do it, please check out the details on our website at nevadacountymedia.org/NCN. This program is local news and information brought to you by local residents. Now, remember to stay safe, take care of each other, and get out there and explore all this community has to offer. Good night now.